I'm 45 meters and I have a niece who is 22 and just got married last weekend. The family is blowing up with drama right now because of what I and my wife did. I must preface this by saying my family can be pushovers. They really all hate conflict and will definitely let themselves be run over by someone else in order to not cause a fight. I'm not this way. The wedding was on Saturday. Catholic ceremony in a church that was at 3:30 p.m. The reception area was at a brewery about 15 minutes from the church. The reception was set to start at 5. Maybe this was stupid on the venue people, but they wouldn't open the bar or bring around the appetizers until the bride and groom arrived. Service ended around 4:30 and everyone was told to go to the reception. The wedding party had a limo to take them, and a separate limo took the parents, grandparents, siblings. The couple is young and decided against family in the wedding party lol. It was 4 sorority sisters and fraternity brothers on each side. My wife and I drove. We got to the venue around 4:50 with the first family limo arriving around that time. By 5 I'd say all 150 guests were there, but no bride and groom. The wedding coordinator was getting *PISSED* as it's now 5:45 and no wedding party. We are all just standing around with no food or drinks. Someone was able to get a hold of them all around this point and apparently the bride and groom told the limo driver to stop at a liquor store and then drive around on the highway for an hour so the wedding party could get trashed. At around 6 the mo said they should be arriving in the next 20 minutes. My wife and I looked at each other and said we are out. We thought it was horribly disrespectful for them to do that to all their guests. I told my brother, FOB, that we were leaving and taking the gift with us. He tried to plead by saying they are just kids, let them have fun, but I was having none of it. A few days after, I got an apology text from niece followed by an ask for the gift again. I said that I felt very disrespected and I didn't want to give a gift anymore. She snapped and called me an asshole. Not the asshole. Wedding guests are guests and shouldn't be treated so poorly by the wedding organizers, i.e. bride and groom. People took time out of their day and spent money to be there all for the bride and groom to not even show up, meaning nobody could eat or drink and just had to stand there awkwardly while the bride and groom got trashed. Personally, they're the assholes for me. Yes, that's exactly what happened. NTA. While I would have probably left the gift, I don't blame you for taking it. What they did was incredibly selfish and disrespectful. I think the fact that she immediately took back her apology and cursed you out when you didn't give her the gift speaks volumes about her character. That wasn't an apology. I'm assuming the gift was a check? It was. And precisely. She was apologizing until she got around to asking for the gift. NTA. The maturity they showed by wanting to get trashed before the reception makes me wonder if they are mature enough for marriage. I have never heard of a venue to withhold food/drink. Went to my cousin's wedding in July a few years ago. It was in a very remote and isolated location. Temperature was 40°C and humidity had to have been above 90%. Not even a pitcher of water. 2 guests passed out from dehydration. We left because I was about to be third. Some people have no brains. NTA. Was taking the gift back petty? Probably. But the type of petty I can endorse. What's the old saying? F*** around and find out. Taking the gift back was absolutely necessary as that was the only part of ops attendance which the niece cared about. NTA. If it was down to them miscalculating time for wedding photography or something then I might feel differently, but they were pre-gaming in the limo and gave zero fucks about their guests. It was incredibly rude of them. Photos always take longer than you think and or plan for, which is why you have the cocktail hour, so your hangry guests don't stage a revolt prior to your arrival. NTA. If they are just kids they shouldn't be getting married or hosting a wedding. Incredibly disrespectful on their part. I'm dying that she's asking for the gift. Save it for the second wedding. Now, let's not be hasty, save it for the third. NTA. People need to learn there are consequences to their actions. They were doing their thing without a care in the world for people waiting on them. You showed them the consequences. Of course she apologized, she wanted your gift. Did she apologize to any of the other 148 guests she pissed off? Exactly, if she was in time she would still have a relationship with Op. NTA, I was barely 20 years old when I got married, and I would never have done that to my guests. If they wanted to goof off with their friends, that's what bachelor/bachelorette parties are for. The audacity of asking for the gifts after the fact is beyond me. They are not kids, and you don't owe them anything. Agreed. I was a 22-year-old bride. My guests got to snack and drink while we took photos for an hour after the ceremony. You know, the entire point of a cocktail hour. Being 22 is no excuse for being such a terrible host, or for being so greedy. NTA. How absolutely rude and trashy. NTA. But perhaps everyone, except the groom, will get another chance at a subsequent wedding, because these two currently sound too immature for adulthood. I didn't wanna be the guy to say I give it a few years tops, but yeah. NTA. Letting people stand around for 2 hours so you can get trashed. I would have taken the check back too and used the money to go have a nice dinner somewhere. They prioritized getting wasted over the comfort of their guests. NTA. Ergs, that's why getting married is for grown-ups. NTA. But why wouldn't the venue serve anything until bride and groom got there? I've worked in events for years and never heard this. I found that weird too. I've been to weddings where the couple takes pictures after the ceremony, but there are always drinks and snacks for the guests till they show up. Super disrespectful to leave the guests waiting while the wedding party were getting drunk. NTA. NTA. As for the mixed replies the gift, I would probably have taken the gift back and replaced it with an envelope containing a $10 bill. Or $1. NTA. They were extremely immature and disrespectful for what they did. That is absolutely ridiculous of them to just take off in the limo for an hour so they can get trashed. Really? They clearly have some growing up to do. Their age does not make what they did okay. They should been at the reception immediately after for taking pics and such. Instead they allowed all of their guests to just stand around and wait with no food and alcohol. This is horrid behavior, and you can't be blamed for leaving the way you did. You don't get to disrespect PPL and then expect a gift. She really had some nerve asking you for it. I bahaha, she asked for her gift back. Tacky. Maybe this was stupid on the venue people, but they wouldn't open the bar or bring around the appetizers until the bride and groom arrived. This was the decision of bride and groom. They are paying the venue and caterer, so they decide when or if serving appetizers and providing punch or wine before dinner. NTA. Edit. Sometimes after wedding photos take an hour, so guests are provided with appetizer and drinks before wedding party returns and dinner begins. The coordinator should have been given latitude to get things going. It's understandable that the venue waited as arranged, but the instructions they were given were excessively specific and didn't allow the person on the spot, whose job it is to see that things go smoothly, to actually do their job. And as you say, pictures can sometimes take a while, so it's reasonable for the guests to be able to get some refreshments while waiting. If they are just kids, then they should just throw a party on a Saturday night, not have a wedding. If you wanna do adult stuff, then act like one. NTA. NTA. 2 hours is completely unacceptable, even if food and drinks are being served. The bride showed her lack of maturity having the audacity to ask for the gift back. NTA. If they wanted to fool around after the wedding, that's their prerogative, but withholding food and beverage service to make everyone wait on them like they're the kind and Queen of England was ridiculous. I would have left too. Bad analogy. The King and Queen of England are super polite and know how to treat guests better than anyone. NTA. I would have left around the 5:15 mark. NTA. It was reasonable for you to take your things and leave after that disaster. It was incredibly rude to make their guests wait an hour and a half for them. Your niece sounds like an obnoxious entitled teenager for throwing a tantrum about not getting a fucking gift. That's something I can see an 8-year-old doing. NTA. If you're gonna do this, which I'm kinda okay with, the venue should definitely be open before you arrive. What ashlery.